was the last time you saw a Chevrolet in Tokyo?
I have no idea what they're talking about.
Robbing biological urges.
You're crazy, son. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
You're listening to Jim and James Chew the Cud.
You're listening to Jim and James Chew the Cud.
Blood alone moves the wheels of history!
They want to steal your liberty, your freedom.
I say to you, and you will understand that it is a privilege to fight.
They want to control what you see and think and believe so that they can control how you live.
We are warriors!
Don't let them step on you. Don't let them destroy your families, your lives, and your future.
Salesmen of northeastern Pennsylvania, I ask you, once more rise and be worthy of this historical hour.
That beacon shined bright once again for the world to see.
Welcome to episode 124.
I was thinking 2, but wow.
No, it's not. It's 124.
Wow,
I
we
think.
jumped.
It's possibly not. Of Jim and James Chew the Cud, a podcast about being a single parent in 18th century Milan. I'm Jim, and my grades remain firmly ACAB. With me, James.
Hello. Hello there.
A man who draws the line at paedophilia. It's usually around 3 foot, but he'll make an exception if they're sexy.
Yeah, no. No.
He'll get these shots in early. You've seen a lot of these things. Have you seen in the news? The government marked grading crisis with the A-level scores.
That, yeah.
Following all of this, that Dominic Raab has been downgraded to Dominic RBBB. Following the issues in Beirut. But actually, following the circumstances behind the Beirut.
I spoke to a man who had been there.
Yeah.
And he asked me if I'd heard about a bomb in Beirut.
Oh.
That's how he described it.
Following the issues in Beirut, further checks on industrial sites have shown that a Chinese cleaning products factory has contaminated air fresheners with domestos. The spokesman described it as a fragrant bleach of safety.
That is horrendous.
Okay. Dozens of migrants have been found dead near the Canaries. Must have been a carbon monoxide leak.
Very good, because that's like a Victorian joke.
This one involves me setting it up and you delivering the punchline.
I'll try then.
Okay. So we both agree that if you're directly involved in an issue, then the unwritten rules of comedy dictate that you have a free pass in that area of ridicule. Like if you're disabled or black or had cancer. I've written the start of a joke for you there. Can you just read it?
No.
The joke James was going to read was anyway a paedophile walks into a bar.
Sorry.
I don't know what I was on when I... Scientists say a salmon can jump higher than the Empire State Building. It's hardly a great feat though, considering the Empire State Building can't jump.
It's science as well, it's science.
Yeah, another science joke.
It's not a joke, that's just a fact.
When discussing any possible further lockdowns, virologist Marion Koopman said, "I'm holding my breath, the next 2 weeks will be crucial." I'm no doctor, but the first 10 minutes should be.
And she's called Koopman.
It's also a coronavirus joke. It falls flat in most places, but if you're American, you'll probably get it. There's talk of Captain Tom presenting or taking over some ITV2 shows.
Oh, that'd be nice. Like Dancing on Ice.
So basically becoming the new Caroline Flack.
Oh.
But it should be fine because no one actually cares when a domestic abuser is male. Miss Wales has been crowned. I don't know if you saw that in the news. The winner had 36 double Ds.
Nice.
Even by Welsh standards, that's a long surname. Trying to put a bit of brevity in between the domestic abuse jokes. Scientists have said that the way to guarantee yourself a bright future is to name something round followed by the letter. We'll see. And I don't know if you saw this, but this is true. Philip Schofield's new advert where he's doing goat yoga.
No.
So he was doing basically yoga with a goat. Can't imagine that's the first time that he's had a kid on his back.
That was Jim Kerson.
Thank you. How you doing?
Not too bad at all. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
opened up with a paedophile joke about you and just
Double down.
Obviously, a couple of weeks ago we launched the feature "If You're Dutch, Get in Touch."
Would you like a schmuck and a pancake?
No Dutch people have got in touch, so that still is open if anyone wants to.
Please.
Would you like a schmuck and a pancake?
I do want to bring back my feature, Good News People.
Oh, yes, I see. Good news!
Where I find a headline that's just maybe something positive in this world. French migrant makes it to Dover Beach.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's good. What do you want to do for top 5 this week?
Before I do that, I just want to say I went to a cinema the other day.
Oh yeah.
And it was just
We're
nice.
We're letting
back in.
Just with the coronavirus.
With everybody
Yeah.
been shut. So went in, got my one ticket for Empire Strikes Back. And it was just...
Had you seen it before?
Oh, I had many years ago. And it was just a joy.
Next to 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Just sitting in the cinema and being there, and when the lights go down and you get quarter of an hour of adverts. And all the adverts were all really depressing. So the kids there with their families, but the first time I've been out of lockdown, to go to the cinema. And it should be like a moment where you can just enjoy it.
The kids being there.
The kids should
enjoy it. You can enjoy.
But you can enjoy the innocence of that kind of.
You enjoy the innocence of it all.
Yeah,
that's an appealing aspect.
Especially in the cinema.
Yeah, it was dark.
But the first advert was for basically it was animals in lockdown.
Yeah,
and I don't know how sad they were. And it was an advert for basically you mustn't keep animals in cages. Then there was an advert for a crisis kind of helpline. So if you're having bad times, you just phone up this number.
Yeah.
And there's another one for animal cruelty as well. And there's some more. And I was thinking, just have some, just have nice harmless adverts you have for the entire family. We then stick on a trailer for just what you've missed, what's gone on, and what's in the future of cinema. And saying, welcome back.
Yeah.
I just cried.
You just cried
through it.
Was this cinema full?
No, it was about
so it was just
15
like you,
people.
some kids,
yeah,
just gently
just
sobbing.
Some families. And it was just me, sobbing.
Do you think that's why the helpline is there? Because there are 40-year-old men gently sobbing in the cinema.
But it was
going back and watching a film from when they were 4.
No, 1. Came out a year after I was born.
Were you born? Oh yeah, I don't know. You were 77. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
Gently crying. I insulted you in the first comment, and your first anecdote is something that makes you not like.
It was just nice.
Like a sad paedophile.
Get back to a cinema.
Like a reluctant.
There was no.
Gently, whenever you try and grab a child off the street, you're like, "I'm so sorry, I've got to do this."
No, none of that.
No, I'm obviously extrapolating to a relative absurdism. Although, again, you went to school with several paedophiles, you must have picked up some tricks.
Should we move on to the lists?
Yeah, you want to talk about your pod collection that you got. Yeah, so top 5 this week. Do you want to continue the facade of spinning a wheel?
Yeah, I was asked during the week if you actually had a wheel and if you stole a wheel from work.
Yeah, I managed to smuggle out a giant wheel.
So yeah, I'll go and spin it.
Yeah, because
it's behind those doors.
Is it? Obviously, we're recording indoors for the first time in. Brilliant.
Spinning it.
You're spinning it now. Good. So.
I'll shut the door. I can't see it.
It's funny that the sound doesn't change whether the door's shut or not, because I'm not working that out.
You should be able to hear me.
Okay, so you spun it. It's slowly stopping. It's on top 5 crimes that you've committed.
I'll go first. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. Broken glass everywhere. People pissing on the stairs. You know they just don't care. I can't take the smell, can't take the noise, got no money to move out. I guess I got no choice. Blah blah.
Blah blah blah.
That is my. That's
long story
that's
short.
One of my favourite rhymes I've ever heard from a group called Grandmaster Flash.
Yeah.
Who I came into knowledge of when
God, you said knowledge of.
I was born. Well, we got our first family computer. Had a CD-ROM.
Yeah.
And we got Doom and Encarta. So played a bit of Doom, put Encarta in.
Yeah. Learn about the feudal system.
But if I said for people who were born before or after 2000, when I was born in Carter is.
Yeah.
It's basically it's a CD-ROM of knowledge, and it had.
It's really a small portion of Wikipedia,
tiny
but
portion.
with great visuals.
Yeah, well, not even great snippets of. But we did do a really interesting thing software-wise, which made allowed them to do it. But we won't go into that because that's really boring. Instead, I put on Encarta, and I heard about rap music, so I typed rap into Encarta, and up came Grandmaster Flash.
Yeah.
And the song, the message, 30 seconds of it, and me and my brother would just watch it on loop for hours. We were simple children, and it was before the internet.
Yeah.
And before Cardigans.
Yeah.
But
not the band.
Yeah, but my favourite rhymes are committed by or sung by Grandmaster Flash.
You were definitely wearing cardigans at that time, based on your floating timeline. So that was your crime.
Rhyme.
Rhyme.
Oh, I thought we were doing rhymes. It's crimes, isn't it?
It's a reoccurring motif is that you miss hearing stuff and also just reading rap lyrics. I mean, I was gonna do Ocean's 12, but it doesn't make sense about Ocean's 11. I think I'm trying to think what my top 5 crime would be. I remember as a kid thinking that downloading a film was a really terrible crime because it equates it to robbing an old lady or stealing a car.
Yeah. And it wasn't the same.
But they also did it wrong. They phrased it as a question.
But also, the only people who saw those adverts and things
were people who bought it
legally.
So
on video, you could skip those. You couldn't on the DVD. You had to watch them for minutes.
So is that one? Do you remember the guy putting something into the furnace? Yeah. But I always thought that was a terrible crime. But now I do that freely. I don't worry at all because I would rob an old lady and have, which you'll find out later in the list. I think the problem with that advert is that they phrase it as a question because if you start, would you rob an old lady? You go and they say yeah, they're not going to feel bad about downloading Harry Potter 2 or something like that. But that's also the problem with a lot of adverts. Okay, I say a lot specifically. Do you remember that Royal Navy one where it was like, can you boil an egg? Can you boil an egg? Can you boil an egg on a boat? Can you boil an egg on a boat whilst occupying foreign, like so on and so forth? I couldn't boil an egg at that point. So the advert, can you boil an egg? Nope.
No.
By the end of that, I felt terrible.
You could have been the best seaman ever.
Yeah, could have been. Was it born in Exeter, made in the Royal Navy, with a nice little on a boat surrounded by seamen? No, good guys. We thank them for their work. Whatever it is they're doing. I don't think there's many sort of nautical battles at the moment, is there? We're at war with Atlantis.
Oh, it should be.
Yeah.
You can find it.
Well, is there any oil?
Let's get some dossiers out.
Yeah. So yeah, no,
that was both wars covered there.
Trying to think what crime. I mean, I think I've probably led a fair good. So it's going to be something like, putting extra penny sweets in a bag or something like that as a child. There's nothing. Oh wait, there was that time that as a 10-year-old, me and my friend led a smaller child away.
You're listening to Jim and James Chew the Cud.
Yeah, so they just gave us new names.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, didn't pay for it. 4th time I've broken. I don't know if it really counts as breaking the law, but it was sort of rejecting authority, I suppose.
Yeah.
I was in Germany.
Right.
And
working.
Originally I was over there for work, and then it was sort of just an elongated stay.
Like camp, holiday camp, or?
It was the sort of like dorm hostel type accommodation.
Sounds quite studenty. Was it a gap year or?
No, like I said, I was over there for work originally, and then just captivated by the locals. So in Germany for a little bit. So I was there, and we usually playing football and stuff like that to pass the time. And a few of the basically we paid for long time to stay there, but we wanted to leave early and they wouldn't really let us. So a group of us planned to escape.
Sure we could, because it's in our interest to come in. If you paid them,
you know what the Germans are like.
They could have just doubled up.
You know what the Germans are like. They are contracts.
So you ran a game of football?
No, we did. We were playing football, and a few of them, sort of locals. Chief of police was like, "Do you want to go out for a bit and play a game of football?" And we thought, "Hello, this is a great time to escape from that place." So we were playing football, and it was me and Pele.
I was just going to ask you who are your teammates?
My mate Pele.
What, like the footballer, Pele?
Like the footballer,
obviously,
very much like the footballer. My American mate Sylvester.
Sylvester?
Yeah, Sylvester, like the cat.
Like Stallone?
Yeah, similar spelling, very similar spelling. But we were playing football with them. And
any others? Any former Ipswich footballers? John Walk, maybe?
I don't.
John Walk was there.
John Walk was there. John Run when he was on the wing. We were just playing a bit of football and we saw an opportunity to escape. But actually, we were we felt we had a good chance to win the match.
I'd hope so.
Actually,
Pele.
Yeah, it was just a guy called Pele. I don't know if it was the Pele. I didn't. It's rude to check.
Did you see his
can't
erection?
just ask a black person. No, this was before. You can't just ask a black person if they're Pele, can you? Like, that's a bit rude.
I think you can.
This is why you're banned from Lenny Henry's restaurant. What am I talking about? And Ainsley Harriott. Wow. I'd like to apologise there.
You should.
To Ainsley Harriott. But yeah, we actually, I think we ended up drawing the match.
Even though I do believe if you watch your replays, Sylvester, he saves the ball. He then celebrates and then goes into the net as well.
But that
was a goal when you actually lost.
It was very similar, yeah. So that was probably the fourth most enjoyable time I've broken the law.
Yeah,
or defied authority.
I accept that.
Had a very similar one, actually. I was in Germany again.
Really?
Yeah, me and Richard Attenborough were sort of...
Was that the one who was in Jurassic Park?
Yeah, the director of Gandhi. We were hanging out. And we had this plan for a really good escape.
Like a great...
I don't know if it was great, James. I don't know if it was a great escape. It didn't certainly go well for Richard Attenborough. He was actually replaced after this because he was gunned down in a field.
Oh man, it's been hard for you.
No, because at that point I had biked my way out of...
I've never seen you ride a motorbike.
It was a BMX.
Wow.
I was being pursued by...
I was seeing E.T. here. You riding along, little basket on the front.
Yeah,
but
sort of, but I was a little Jewish kid in the front. And I'm just cycling along, and I don't know his name, Jacob. Yeah. We sort of... I'm really good at popping wheelies.
I've heard.
So I went up this...
Not from anyone else, it's just from you.
Yeah, I'm very
never seen me you're open, but you've never seen me.
I popped this wheelie, and I was being pursued by these local security guards, also on bicycles, chasing me. One was on a Segway. It was ludicrous because it was through a field. And yes, I popped this wheelie, cleared this barbed wire.
That's things which I never thought I'd hear you say. I popped a wheelie.
So I popped a wheelie with this Jewish...
It's about 10 times now. You can do a little collection if you... I popped a wheelie.
The best of popped a wheelie. Now it just sounds popped a wheelie. It's one word.
Is it a wheelie good time?
It's a place in Australia. So yeah, I popped this wheelie, and this Jewish kid, we escaped, and yeah. Don't know why I said his name was Jacob. It was Steven Spielberg.
Wow.
All along. So
he's...
No, probably.
I think quickly I'm going to go into my car.
Fire away, my friend.
You're listening to Jim and James Chew the Cud.
It may be seen as an act of defiance. I was, saying F*** you to my man.
Yeah.
And I also had access to the internet at that point. We had quite fast internet for the time.
Yep.
The gold 56k. So that was enough to download an album in about an hour or two.
That's not bad.
That was James's
mildly interesting fact
of the week.
It is.
Mildly interesting fact.
There's also the stage when on a radio they would play like live shows of bands, and then once it went out, you couldn't then get that show
Because it happened.
been broadcast, but there was no way of like recording it properly.
Yeah.
And also like bands would just do gigs.
No one even knows what the Beatles look like.
And people would sell audio from a soundboard at the gig.
Like bootlegging.
Yeah. So I got a CD, had a PC with CD burner.
Yeah.
Went to jungle.com, bought 50 blank discs and a sticker maker thing to label them.
Yeah.
And I would just go online and download Stereophonics doing a live gig somewhere.
High-demand CDs.
Oh no, yeah, they were. And stick it on eBay for a tenner plus £3 postage. And
I think that's possibly the worst thing that's been said so far.
I would sell kind of...
You're taking food out of Fran Healy's children's mouths.
Kelly Jones.
Which one's Fran Healy?
He's from Travis.
That wasn't even intentional. They are the same band, but
No.
No one's ever seen Travis and Stereophonics in the same room at the same time.
Probably have though.
No, I doubt they get invited to
the Enemy thing in '98, maybe.
Yeah, but okay, possibly, yeah.
But yeah, I'd be selling these bootleg CDs.
Yeah.
And but like I was making a few £100 every single week. Tax free, brilliant.
Who is buying all these Stereophonics live CDs?
Well, no, it was other ones. Every few days, I would just put up a new band.
Right.
So I was in effect, I was kind of like, maybe I was podcasting before podcasting existed, in the form of music. No,
you're just stuck.
But I'll be selling
labels
tenner a pop
CDs,
and I was making hundreds, and then my dad
hundreds.
My dad realised
you bought 50 CDs.
Well, no, I want more since then, but I mean hundreds of pounds, and then my dad.
I get
my dad found
out. But
my dad worked out what I was doing.
Yeah. And your dad's Simon Cowell, and
basically we had a talk.
Yeah.
And I was forbidden
you can't be
from selling stuff on eBay.
You can't be taking money from Fran Healy and Kelly Jones.
But yeah, so I was giving a thumb to him. It was highly illegal.
What was he worried about?
We're going to get raided.
One who just knock you open up and there's an angry Louis Walsh.
Angry taxman or something.
Angry taxman.
Demanding money.
Yeah. That actually does remind me of something that my friend Trevelyan did, where he had a copy, and I've seen it. You know the Anarchist Cookbook?
Yeah.
He had a handwritten copy of it and ordered those bits online, and the police came and raided his house. He was like 15 and I had to explain it to his parents. He's fine now. He turned out normal. He's got tattoos of a zombie Jimmy Hoffa on his arm and a zombie Johnny Cash on the other.
Nice.
So it turned out all right. Whose crime? You've just admitted to mass fraud.
Yeah.
Did you advertise them as
bootlegs? No, just live performances.
That's outrageous. That's just. What did you do with the money? Did your dad make you give it away?
Spent it on GameCube games.
Your dad was fine with that though.
Well, until I knew what I was doing and how much I'd earned.
So what? He found out you'd been earning good money and was like, "This is all fine."
Well, no, he found out how I was getting like checks sent through a post.
Checks.
That's what he did then.
Who's sending you checks? EMI.
eBay.
eBay sends you checks.
eBay was checks.
Fucking
back in the day, you basically when you won something, you chat to the seller.
So you were getting checks through. How old were you?
21, 22.
This podcast might just be called "How old were you?" Every story it's the same. How old were you?
I was 22 then.
22.
Yeah.
And you were getting checks through the.
2000. Well, 20, 21.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
early 20s.
What happens? You get the check, then you send the item.
You then went to the bank. You paid.
Yeah, I know how a check works.
And then
did you then get the item?
Then send it.
Wait, you wait until the money cleared?
No. This is you pay it in, but I'd like a slight backlog of checks.
Yeah.
My dad found them and.
What do you mean? You went into your room and you were just like Scrooge McDuck but with checks?
I had a bookcase. I had a pile.
Right, sorry, you can't see this, but his hand was a good foot off the table. Like a wad of checks.
A pile.
You're just like, Father, get yourself something nice. You want to cash that in. You're suddenly walking around in.
It's also me and him do the same.
Why are you not?
We have the same name, so we could do that. Here's a check for you. Check for me.
Oh. Yeah, we suffered a little cut of it. Protection money from your dad. Why didn't you just cash him in?
That's working as well.
Yeah, but he's...
In a petrol station. And obviously I had that incident with the
You
lady.
got some compensation for a traumatic event.
Well, I didn't.
No, well, I just suppose if you had received it, you wouldn't have had to have just conned the sort of landfill indie artists of the early 2000s.
No.
That's the. Honestly, if we did a quiz and you played a song and it was like, is this Travis or Stereophonics? I don't think I would get it right. Travis is Flowers in the Window.
Yeah.
Stereophonics is Dakota.
Yes.
Now that's the. Oh, Handbags and the Glad Rags, Rod Stewart. But he did that with.
It's just a shame.
Travis. Stereophonics.
It's a shame that the songs you save for Stereophonics were their shit ones as well. The album was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then after that,
their most popular stuff is their shittest stuff.
The first album is their best album.
Okay, well, check that out, listeners.
We always do know that the populist vote isn't always.
Yeah, but right I Dakota is a good song. I enjoy that.
All the best.
But I suppose it's very just disposable, really, isn't it? It's not. It doesn't have any depth or meaning to it. I've been listening to jazz recently.
Wow, it's got that low.
No, I've been broadening my horizons. I just decided. I thought jazz would be something that I should listen to. I'd be like, yeah, I like jazz. And it turns out I like some jazz. I know. No, so I've been listening to some jazz. So,
nice.
Pretty cool. Whose turn is it to break the law?
It's mine. It was back when I was younger.
Yeah.
After I was caught for bootlegging, I actually
by your dad.
By Ben. I
22.
I ignored him. I ignored him. Carried on.
And the police got you.
Police got involved.
22, knock on the door, you're hauled away.
I was in prison for about 4 days.
4 days?
But I just got out, and me and my partner Rusty found out we had a job.
Still, the shell garage in 5.
It was to rob a vault for houses for cash of 3 casinos.
Wow.
In Las Vegas. And it was basically...
You're in
150
Essex
million.
at this point.
But yeah, we got part.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Get an email.
So yeah, 3 volts.
Yeah.
150 million pounds.
That's a lot of pounds.
Yeah, that's weight as well. It's actually more than that.
Wow.
Pounds of dollars.
Oh yeah,
it's a hell of an amount.
Yeah, a lot of money.
So we had to recruit some more people.
Yeah, I understand.
So
how many and Rusty? 2 of you so far.
It's 2 of us.
God, a job like that's going to need upwards of 5.
We've got 9 more people.
9 more people.
Yeah.
So we had some sort of like 11 of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my nickname as well was Ocean.
Was it?
Yeah.
A huge Billy Ocean fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did that.
Allow my dreams into my car. I've got a gun. It's your favourite.
But basically, we had there was a thief who was out. No, my mate Rusty was a thief who just come out of retirement.
Hang on, you're out of retirement from what? Being a thief.
Yeah, 74.
You're 22, hanging out with the 74.
We had loads of people. We had a Chinese acrobat, a surveillance man. We even had a car dealer. An explosives expert.
Are these people you knew from school?
No, these people from all the best of their professions.
How did you get in touch with them? Did you put up a flyer in a
we kind of flew there and spoke to them and did a lot of face-to-face interviews.
But how did you know? Because prior to your copying of CDs, you weren't a hardened criminal.
Well, I've been in prison.
For 4 days.
You learn stuff quickly.
4 days. Okay, go on. So you're in America currently, talking to a Chinese acrobat, a explosives expert, a 74-year-old thief,
a car dealer,
a car dealer.
Yeah,
like Jess Automobiles.
A couple of frontmen, and luck was also
frontmen were like Duncan from Blue.
Yeah,
and
also from Blue.
Yeah.
And there's a bloke who worked at one of the casinos who was a bit pissed off and hadn't been paid for a few days, so he got involved as well.
Yeah.
He was our inside man. And then we just robbed these casinos.
Wow.
And got out using all our skills and expertise.
That's I mean, that's fantastic.
It really was.
4 days in prison as a 22-year-old, and you befriended. Was he in prison with you? No, he wasn't. So you knew Rusty, the 74-year-old former thief. Before. Yeah. How did you meet Rusty?
He tried to rob me.
Right. So he's not a very good thief then, if you caught him.
Because I outsmarted him.
Right.
In a series of traps in my house.
Right, yeah.
I had things like paint pots, top of the stairs. Just, goes on them, swings down, bang.
Yeah.
He gets hit. So that
Were you
happened.
with people at home when that happened?
No, it was home alone.
You were home alone.
Yeah. So then he was one of the bandits in that.
He was a bandit and a thief.
Well, initially he was a bandit.
Right, yeah.
But because he was so impressed with how I handled that situation and prevented him, the master burglar, from robbing.
I don't know if you can be a master thief.
It was Christmas as well.
Yeah.
My family had all disappeared to France.
So I think though
and I didn't get in the car.
If I had to rob a casino, I wouldn't necessarily go for the thief that I had outsmarted as a child.
No, he came for me.
He came for you.
He had all the contacts.
So you'd stayed in touch over these years?
No, he just heard I'd been in prison. I was now a bad boy.
So news of your imprisonment had spread.
It was in the newspapers.
Really?
Got me in court section.
Yeah, in the local.
Yeah.
Where were you living?
Camden.
Camden. You can. Oh, so you're a Cockney wide boy. You're 22, selling CDs and so on. Okay, should we take a break there?
Let's have a break. Yeah, I appreciate that.
You're listening to Jim and James Chew the Cud.
In a bit of a throwback to an old feature, the news. We use this as a chance to play the jingle.
The nudes?
The news. For old fans. Friend of the show Adam sent us a headline in. Meghan and Harry's home sits behind a spooky estate once owned by the schizophrenic son of the inventor of the mechanical reaper who developed a foot fetish, carrying his slippers in his arms as if they were live pets. I've got nowhere to go with that. I just thought I would raise it. There's nothing funny about that, to be honest with you, Adam. And I think Meghan and Harry deserve a bit of privacy. Or privacy. I'm not sure which one it is. Okay, so in the autumn of 2001, I was in New York City briefly, sort of September time. I'd recently developed superpowers and I failed to stop a mugger running away, and they killed my uncle. At which point I fought crime as a vigilante.
Like Batman.
Just like Batman. Put me in touch with some weird people, all sorts of weird ideas, some real jokers and things like that. But then I was radical. Sorry, not bombings. They were aeroplanes. Although that may not have happened at all, according to some people.
Mentalists.
Who I have invited on this show, and you will have no part of. Do get in touch if you want to hear me interview someone with avant-garde beliefs.
Pretty mildly, yeah.
Sort of out there beliefs. So we can do that. Yeah, so I failed to stop a mugger. Actually, I'm not sure. I think it is a crime because at the end of Seinfeld, they were all jailed for failing to stop a mugger. Although they committed far worse crimes.
How old were you when this happened?
What? When I was in New York?
Yeah.
I was 11.
Yeah, so I don't think you could really be charged with, as a child, failing to stop a crime.
I was quite a hench child.
I imagine.
Sort of, a bit of a menace, I suppose. Sorry, I was going to Jerry Seinfeld loves underage girls. And I don't even think I'd be caught right because I think he dated like a 17-year-old. Now, if you're 40-something, you're dating a 17-year-old, you're going to find 15-year-olds attractive. Aesthetically, there's sometimes not too much of a difference, and so I don't think it goes beyond the realms of believability to say that Jerry Seinfeld does find girls underage attractive. And the problem is, and I don't want to stand up for, to be fair, other podcasters and celebrities and things like that, but 16 is fine, but 15 and 364 isn't, So, what's his name? Pick a celebrity, to be honest, the way it's going. Every other day there's a new... I've got no heroes left, they're all Nazis and paedophiles. Maybe they're not necessarily paedophiles, they just... this features Jim on the wrong side of history. I just think it's worth raising, just as a fact for future reference. That there's only a day in it. What's the problem? Is my point. So
I didn't speak just to let you have to get deeper and deeper.
Well,
so how far is he going to go?
Do you want to jump in at any point?
Probably should do.
And over to you, Jim.
It's back to crimes, and that
was very much a crime.
Well, it wasn't really. Well, your one wasn't a crime. Back in the day, I bit of a wheeler dealer.
Yeah, selling CDs, cardigans, poetry.
I had a bit of money to earn from like a big job, and I set up a...
How old are you, sorry?
24, 25.
24, 25, so this is a couple of years after the CD escapade. Yeah. You obviously had money because you'd robbed casinos.
In Las Vegas.
Yeah, you had a bit of money.
So I thought, I want to retire now, get it easy.
Understandable.
So I opened up a garage.
Nice.
Yeah.
What sort of garage? Are we car repairs or
car repairs? Yeah, car
repairs.
Suit stuff up.
What's Rusty doing?
But the thing is, I know Rusty's
off the scene.
He's
cool.
dead now.
Yeah, well,
no, but I so set up his business, and people would come in, get my cars fixed or changed, suits up.
Yeah.
Thing is, the staff was shit. Because I know expertise in the field. Yeah. I hired blindly. I just hired people for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And my head mechanic.
Did you hire any women?
Well, I mean, I probably did, but saying
you don't know.
I didn't see sex. My head mechanic.
Not now. You have to stand 15 meters away.
In the interview, I just asked him, "Can you boil an egg?" He
Yeah.
could, and that was enough. Hired on the spot.
Can you boil an egg in a car that's going up and down?
But the thing is, he couldn't repair cars.
Right, pointless.
Yeah.
So how's he met a mechanic?
Some woman came in one day.
Yeah.
With her car, brakes. She wanted the brakes sorted out, the engine sorted.
Yeah.
Because she was selling this car to this bloke. So the car came in.
Yeah.
Did our stuff. Well, thought we did.
What did you do?
Well, I didn't do anything.
No.
But it was my.
You're reading loaded.
It was my business. My business on the side.
Yeah.
So did his car. Terrible job. Really shoddy.
Wow.
So anyway, the woman got the car, and then she gave it to her grandson. This fellow just started to drive.
Yeah.
He had a few issues.
Yeah.
He was,
what sort of issues?
He wanked a lot.
He wanked
a wrong.
Well, just
times.
all the time.
Mm.
She's there signing the paperwork,
Yeah.
and he's just.
But but apparently he took his car to his garage, put petrol in.
Yeah.
And he came in, he paid, came out.
Was he wanking as he was doing this?
No, I don't think he was. Okay. Check the cameras.
You want to make sure you got it on film, if you.
Yeah. And then he started his car.
Yep.
Shot forward, smashed into the garage, hit a woman.
No.
Hit that woman, and
his own grandma, or was that?
No,
sorry.
No, it was just.
The woman that was buying the mint.
Mm.
This was all along. This was the. Oh my god!
Yeah,
that's like a M. Night Shyamalan.
It turns out it was my fault because
you're saying it like you just realised it.
I have. I never put two and two together
until now.
But it was the same car. I remember he had a very distinct number plate.
You must have just served him.
Didn't think.
No. You're saying he had a very distinct number plate.
Yeah.
But he just came. You had just finished repairing that car. If a car you've just signed off on plows through the window, which again I asked you, was it like an Esso type garage? You said no. So I don't know what she's doing in the car garage.
Because I worked in two garages. I worked in a garage that sold petrol.
But you, at this point, you were a millionaire at 25 who wanted to retire.
I worked in a garage just so I could be seen.
Just to pass the time.
It's more like a hobby,
yeah, of course. If you end up with like 150 million, it's going to be suspicious as you work in a garage.
Oh no, so I was writing.
Oh, have you seen James?
I was writing a screenplay
He's bought
as well.
a 15-storey house. Well, you know he works at the Esso garage, don't you?
I was writing a screenplay.
Oh right,
so
yeah.
I wanted to get life experience.
Was it you were helping out Will Shakespeare update Romeo and Juliet?
No.
So you were writing a screenplay. Bizarre you mentioned that at this end of the story. All along, you were actually complicit in the death much like Spider-Man in a way, in that your inaction caused the death of an elderly person. Wow.
But turns out I was punished straight away. So
why were you
swings and
punished?
roundabouts. Because I saw it. I was there when a woman just splattered inside me.
I don't know if that's enough punishment for gross negligence.
It is.
Okay, fine. Me, you know me, I have very few rules. One of them is just never open the boot and look at whatever it is that I'm carrying. But I was I was working as like a delivery driver for the I would transport things for a fee, but I would never ask what I'm transporting.
We mean postmen don't ask, do they? So
no, they don't.
Should you?
They don't, and often that's a problem. Look at the Unabomber. But yeah, so I would never look in the boot. But obviously one time I did, and they cut my heart out for it and replaced it with a battery.
Fuck.
Yeah, so at that point I had to run round attaching things to my nipples to turn electric things and getting shocked in them, which
so it's like to crank the energy out.
to crank the energy, exactly. And so I went to the doctors and I was like just sort of like plugging battery packs into my chest and stuff.
Did it work?
He said that I really didn't have any quality of life in that by this point I was kind of expendable. So I decided to go to Vietnam and fight over there just because I had nothing left to live for in Vietnam. And actually while I was over there, I settled down and opened a shop selling devices to latch things together. But unfortunately there was like a fireworks company next door to my shop, and one day that kind of went up in flames, and honestly, lock, stock, gone. 2 smoking barrels was all that was left.
I remember from a time I joined a group of basically car racers, like it was like a family, and like we drove far too fast and far too furious,
like angrily. Yeah,
and we did that, and we met. I'm sure I met you.
Towards the end of that, yeah. I'm gonna be honest, going through his films, they are all just fucking bland titles. And then I ended up getting employment in near Rome. That was just my Italian job that I had.
When you also employed by some Chinese company to go and rescue your wife, who had been submerged in a
she'd been taken.
In a submarine.
She'd been taken.
Well, no.
At that point, I was pretending I had an Irish accent.
No, she was like potentially drowning in a submarine. You had to go down and save her. It was a massive shark. That's for Meg.
Well, no, that was when I was trying to download. I was actually similar to your stealing of CDs. I was working to improve download speeds for downloading films actually, and it was I can't remember the maximum speed we had. I think it was just a meg.
That's better.
I actually for a time worked at updating the works of Charles Dickens for a more modern audience. So I don't know which way to go with this. I updated 2 versions. There was one story I did where it was about how women's tennis is inherently inferior to men's due to the amount of games they play and how uncompetitive it is. That was a tale of 2 settees. And the other one was basically sort of a pseudo version of Romeo and Juliet involving a worker at DFS and a worker at the sofa company, and that was called A Tale of 2 Settees.
So far so good.
Thank you. That'll probably get cut. I think I'm all out of crime.
All out of crime.
I don't know if it really counts, but I was in the Second World War people used to hide the Jews, and there were people that would like have lists of the Jews, do things to get look after them and so on, like hide them in basements or employ them. When I was working in Berlin,
this does sound familiar.
there was I was aware that people were sheltering the Jews, and I knew what was happening to them.
So this does sound a lot like the film Schindler's List.
Right, you're fucking wrong, because
I've seen many times.
I would go into that shower scene. No, I would go into people's homes and drink milk.
But this is Schindler's List, isn't it? But it's in reverse.
Yeah, it's Schindler's List told from the. I don't know. There's not really
point of view of a hound.
I was going to say the point of view. I mean, I know you've not seen Schindler's List, but do you know the image of the girl in the red coat that appears? I was going to say from her point of view, but that would be a far shorter film, and most of it would just be spent looking at the sky.
So that's spoilers.
That's you got any crime? Finish this off, I think.
Tell you what is a crime.
Go
on. Murder.
Murder is a crime.
Murder is my number one.
You've murdered?
Crime. No.
Are you ranking your crime?
Yeah.
You're not ranking crime. Murder is the worst.
Yeah,
I
think it's very bad, but murder's final. There's no chance afterwards.
But is that not then? Say, for example, another heinous crime. Something, Nancy. Is that not worse because you have to live with the effects of that? Or are you saying,
There's always a chance.
There's always a chance of what?
That's a great Tyrion Lannister.
You might enjoy it.
But his death is very final.
Yeah.
After there's no options.
Yeah.
There's always an option in your life.
But if you are molested, you have to live with that and then you die.
But you might conquer it.
But you still die. So if you're murdered, you've died. If you're molested,
I see what you mean.
You're molested and then die.
Down the line, years down the line.
Yeah, not that long. A lot.
But they then can jam up and make bad crimes, combined crimes. So obviously,
I suppose actually there is the flaw, isn't it? By my argument, every crime is worse than murder. I mean, I think to experience, it depends on how you're murdered. If you're sort of shot in the head without knowing, it's probably okay.
I disagree. All murder.
No, but I mean,
all murder matters.
What I'm saying is, if you had to choose how to be murdered, I mean, actually saying that, if you chose to be shot through the head and you knew it was coming, like at some point,
just to spite you, I would to prove you wrong, I would ask for you to stave my head in using a pebble.
Right.
Because it'll be horrendous.
I don't know if you're going to be.
It's a pebble.
Yeah, but pebble can be quite big.
No, it's tiny.
A tiny pebble.
Yeah.
I've got a bat you to death with a pebble.
Yeah.
What's stopping me from just ripping your head open?
It's rules.
There's rules.
There's rules.
Gentlemen, if you're going to kill each other, there are rules.
I've done something that's my chosen.
I just
been sentenced to death or something.
I think if you had to end your life. Let's just finish this episode with some cheery chat. How would you do it? I think I would, if I had every opportunity, I would drown. And I mean, I don't mean like died from too much pussy or something like that. I mean, reasonably, I'm going to tell you now that you have to kill yourself. How would you do it?
I'd agree.
You agree?
Yeah.
With what?
Drowning.
And
you drowning.
It's just a sink. You to hold your head under.
No, I mean at sea.
Yeah.
Go to a beach, lay back.
Yeah, just float out. Just float away until. Yeah, it'd be quite nice.
It'll be a seagull. But it's
you said
calming.
I didn't know though, because salt water. If it was a fresh water, probably like a pond or a lake.
I want an ocean.
Yeah. Well,
possibilities.
Your nickname, wasn't it? That's why they called you Ocean, was because you're always talking about killing yourself in the sea.
Just swim out.
You go there with your friends, just be like, one day I'm going to swim out there and not come back. Like Swayze.
We used to
in Breakpoint.
They used to tie ropes onto me.
Right.
I mean, if I was gone too far, they'd rule me in.
Just inherently suicidal.
Well, no, but it's they invented fishing.
Brilliant. Thank you for listening to this podcast, a Kerson media production.
Please come back.
Do come, especially if you're Dutch. Get in touch. I do think that's got legs.
If you're Bermudian, send a Nudian. If you're Scandinavian, fuck off.
That was Jim and James Chew the Cud. What a lot of your time we have wasted. A Kerson media production. Produced by Glenn Lopez. Music by Hilary Mice.
I quite enjoyed it.